What's up, guys? This is Codes.
Matthew Anthony here.
Hey guys, Anammer here.
Hi, my name's Golf.
Mac Vaughn here.
My name's Winter. Dom Kane. Bjorn Ackerson.
Julian Gray.
Christian Vance.
The Secrets.
Elas. Horticulture.
Alvin Dad.
Austin Hot.
Hi folks and welcome to another Sonic Academy Live with me, Phil and Chris. How's it going, Chris? What's the crack?
What's the crack with you? The crack is mighty. How's things with you?
Not great, if I'm all...
What's wrong?
Well, just this
What's
new
wrong?
lockdown. I'm not too happy about it.
No, we're getting news today that we're probably going into 6 weeks mega lockdown.
Yeah.
Again, I know that Germany's gone in, Holland's gone in, and it's just a bit sort of... It's just deflating, isn't it? It's just like, we want this to end, and we want to get back.
Although, you know, maybe after the 6 weeks, the vaccine's rolled out, the levels are really low, and then everything just goes back to normal, and we can all go out clubbing again.
I don't know. I read somewhere that they think masks should be worn until at least this time next year.
I don't mind wearing. I don't mind wearing masks.
No,
well, it's
I
not
don't
a
mind.
problem.
Mask doesn't bother me. It is hard to recognize people though. People walk
Yeah.
past going, "Hi," yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
"I have no clue who you are. I can just see your eyes."
Yeah.
You know, so it is
I
hard.
know.
Uh,
So what else have
yeah,
you been doing?
just-
Here, do you want to see something? Do you want to see something? Do
yeah.
you want to see something? Do you want to see something?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go. Show me. I don't know. Again, Phil, you could have had this prepped. Oh. Ooh. Look at that. A shiny new apple. Ooh.
Sorry, let me get
Oh,
headphones
did you just
on, I
break
can't
it?
hear
All
I'm,
right.
I'm doing the headphones thing today.
Why?
Well, I've got my headphones caught round.
Disaster already. Oh
Ah.
god.
It's okay.
dear.
It's okay. We need clips
Yeah.
like this for. Yeah. So we've got a brand new Apple Silicon Mac Mini.
Ooh. Which comes with what, Phil?
What the absolutely fuck all. Not a
just
sausage.
really-
It comes with a power cable. That's it. That's all you get.
That's
And a sticker.
keyboard. No.
No.
That's unbelievable. Like that's really, really bad. Do you think it should come with a keyboard and a mouse?
I'm not that bothered. Actually, do you know, I don't
No?
even know if I have a. Well, I've got this keyboard, so I can use that. But yeah, so we're gonna be checking that out. I've done an unboxing video, and
Yep.
I am going to install Logic and Ableton on it, and then check a load of stuff. We have new builds of our plugins coming, hopefully soon. And yeah, so we're going to test those out. Kick's built, so we're gonna give that a go, and it'll be going into beta shortly, hopefully. And then yeah, I'll test a bunch of other stuff. I'm really interested to see what works with Ableton. Like, you know, if it's obviously running in compatibility mode, how it compares with, you know.
Yeah, we want to set up a Logic because we've seen videos where they can this base model can run 1,000 plugins, and we want 1,000 Apple or Logic plugins. So we want to see, you know, how many native Ableton plugins. Is there a big difference between Logic and Ableton?
Just how
and Silicon?
stable it is. So it'll be interesting to see it.
Yeah.
It should work with my Apollo, and we've got the Sapphire interface to try. So we'll try those two interfaces as well. Try some keyboards. We've got a bunch of controllers here we can try and just see what works, what doesn't.
Somebody's asking, can it run Cyberpunk 2077?
It definitely cannot. I don't think there's
There you
too
go.
many things that can run Cyberpunk 27.
Stuart Rogers asked, why not go for the M1 Pro Mac? Because there isn't one. There's only these base models that are out yet. So
Yeah.
there's only
Did you know there is a rumor of a 2U rack Mac Pro coming?
right. No, I didn't. Tell me more.
Okay, 2U Mac Pro
That's
with
easy to say.
64 cores.
Right. Okay.
64 cores. Does that not get you like a wee bit wet?
Yeah, but it'll probably not come with a case or something. You'll have to buy a case separately. It'll be a display of parts that you have to put together yourself, like IKEA.
Yeah. So I don't know.
so-
That very much interests me. Especially if it's not quite as ridiculously expensive as the Big Macs, which I imagine is the Xeon chips, because those Xeon chips on their own are like $2,000, $3,000. So
But is it going to be hard for Apple to put out that very, very expensive Mac Pro and then release a Mac Pro with their own silicon at half the price? Is it not going to be all the
but
customers going?
you know, obviously they have a deal with Intel where they have to pay Intel the money for those
Yeah,
chips.
royalties. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
They're
yeah.
buying those chips, but now they're making their own. I'm sure it doesn't. You know, once that's up and running, it probably doesn't cost $3,000 to make those Apple chips.
Yeah,
So
but
you know,
they are still charging 400 quid for wheels, which they make. So,
yes, that is true. But they, they
it's
could genuinely completely, I mean, the last time that Macs had their own, well, they've never had their own silicone, but the last time they had different silicone PCs was probably the heyday of like G4s,
PowerPC,
G3, G4s, and
Motorola,
PowerPC, yeah, IBM, wasn't
Motorola.
it? Motorola. I don't know.
I think it was Motorola. Somebody in the chat say hello. Let's say hello to some people on the chat, Philip. We have got Chris Francis, Majestic Pillow, Dennis Van der Meer, Burgerslow, Ponch, Orbital Force, Owl, Dave Bushka, John Phelan, Svexir, I think it is, Stuart Rogers, Paul Brown, Life Society, Sonair, all welcome along to our last show of the year.
Yeah. Well, hey.
I was going to do it in fancy dress. Look,
Go
I have
put your
props.
fancy dress on. Put
Okay,
it on.
I can only find. I did have an elf costume in the studio somewhere, but I can't find it. So
My only fancy dress costume I ever got was, and this was like a last minute thing I had to get because we were doing something, and was it like a Batman costume, but it was like really small, and all it did was just like show like all my fat bits, and I was just like this fat man my kids came up with. Daddy, you look like Fat Man.
Fat man. So yeah, last show of the year, not last show ever, just last show.
Last show of the year. We're going. I think we're going to these last few shows since we came back. We've sort of just probably haven't got guests in the way we did before, and we sort of promised we were going to do that. I think that makes it the most fun. So I think in the new year we're maybe going to do them less often, but we're going to make them better and bigger. So
yes. Less is more.
Less is more. I think that's what we're going for generally, is just a lot, less, but a lot more.
Yeah, because we've been talking about content here, and we think actually I think we sometimes do too much content. A lot of it gets lost, and there's a lot coming at you. We do content on a Tuesday and Thursday. Sorry, I am going to ditch this because it's really...
You can take it off now. I think that.
The gag is over and done with, is it?
Done. We've had our fill of that particular one.
Yeah, so less is more. Trying to bring you bigger, better content, but less. Just so it's more of an event. So yeah.
I would still, Chris. I mean, I've said this loads. I would still really like us to do just like I'm making a track. So it's not a big live show, but it's just making a track. You know, you're there chatting away, and I'm sort of making a track, and people you ask questions and that kind of thing. I think that would be a fun thing to do. So maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do like our live show and then make a track or something like that. Because I'm quite enjoying making tracks again for some reason. I'm not
this
sure.
is what I was going to. This is what I'm going to ask you. What are you hoping to do because it's the end of the year and you're kind of looking forward to?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Basically,
what happened?
What happened? Coast to Coast. Whoever knows and doesn't know, Coast to Coast is an act I used to be in many years ago. We had a single called Home, which did quite well. And then recently there was a remix of that. So basically, this record company screwed us. It ended up getting signed to Armada.
Mm-hmm.
So they own all our copyrights, which is extremely annoying. And there was a remix released there. Well, got on the show and all. It's quite a good remix. I quite liked it. But it
hold on a second. Stop. It's kind of stop there.
I know.
So you how is Armada ended up with your? I didn't actually know that Armada had your copyrights.
Yeah.
How?
So at some point, to get out of our contract, we had to sign our copyrights over.
Yeah. Okay. So you were desperate to go, and they said, "Oh well, then give us your copyrights." And you went, "Yeah, fine. Just if you go away."
If you fucking leave us alone. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot today. I don't mean to. Maybe it's just because I'm still cross about this.
So those assholes sold. I mean, isn't this? I just find it so fucking annoying that we wrote this stuff, we made this stuff, and it's now nothing to do with us
Yeah.
anymore. And I know you signed deals, and you know, but I mean, there wasn't big, huge sums of money involved in,
No,
in
and I mean, I
signing these
think that
things over.
we were young and wet behind the ears. And I think one of the things that I remember happening at the time was there was the scenario of, you were doing the 3 single deal and then they had to pick up the option for an album or the contracts were over. And they never picked up the option for the album, but they maintained that they didn't have to. And there was wording in the contract that basically had snuck in there, which meant that they still retained the name and stuff like that. So they'd basically shafted us. Anyway, fast forward.
I told you about told you about my big shaft in my contract, which I still
Oh,
have
your
20 odd years
packaging
later.
deductions, yeah.
They used to, in contracts, they used to deduct percentage off your royalties for packaging. So if it was on vinyl, they would say, "Oh, take 20% off your royalty rate for packaging, the cost of making it,"
Yeah.
or CDs for the dual case. I have a 90% packaging deduction for digital.
Such a stroke.
So they reduced my royalty rate by 90% for packaging for digital.
So you're not
which
not 3p that goes to the record label, which you have a royalty rate of 17% on.
Yes, that is reduced by 90%.
So I wonder, could we work out that calculation? It's probably not.
It's
one.
sad. I just
So you
think
need to sell like a million tracks to get £1 or something.
Yeah, no, I think it's just hateful. Again, like you, we made all the stuff. We just wanted to make music like most people out there. And there's these vultures and we don't, like, I go onto Spotify, I got sent, the end of year artist thing, and it was 1.5 million streams. I haven't seen a cent. I was like, where's this money go? Who's sitting there?
And if you did a Agnelli and Nelson track now, can you do that, or are you still have any?
No, well, I could possibly argue that, like you, the contract is ongoing, and because we didn't deliver, but then I think there was a clause that no contract period can last more than 18 months.
Yeah, because we did deliver an album, but that was what it was. We delivered the album, but they had final say on what they were able to deem was
technically
a delivered album. And they refused the album on grounds that it wasn't up to the same level as previous tracks, which was bullshit. It was just good stuff. Do you know what I mean? But they were basically saying it wasn't up to level. Anyway, so Armada has the stuff now. They released a remix recently, and I went on it. I just went on Spotify and noticed again, similar to you, that there was a whole bunch of streams and stuff. So I thought maybe I'll make a wee coast to coast track just for the crack. So I thought, started making a wee track, and I really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I haven't really seriously made a dance track in a long time. A lot of stuff I've been working on has been sort of pop music or electro or synthwave or stuff like that. So I thought I'll make a big dance banger for the crack, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I did. So I might.
But you've no expectations. You're just doing it for the pleasure now. So
yeah, I'm just doing it because I wanna make a track. So
yeah. So that's my. What I want to do in the new year is actually get back to making music. Finding time is a big bloody issue.
I think as well, since the beating we got in the industry.
Yeah.
That sort of the positivity and that sort of desire and to make a name for yourself has just completely been beaten out of me to a point where it can only be because I love doing it, because there's no other point for me. It's just I wanted to make a track. And
the only good thing is I don't hear these stories today, these sort of real people getting shafted and stuff. Now there's stuff going on in the background, but I deal with a lot of artists and stuff, and you don't really hear them bitching. They hear them bitching about, the label's not promoting my stuff quite as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think today that with the internet and stuff, I don't think labels would be able to get away with that. And it's easier maybe to get your stuff placed with other labels and get contact with people. So
yeah,
if your stuff's
but in our day, it was just horrendous. We signed horrible deals. I spent 25 grand 1 year on just a lawyer to try and get out of a contract.
Yeah.
And
I think as well, the other massive difference, back when we were doing it, you did need a studio, you needed a mixing desk,
you needed finance,
and synths and stuff. It was maybe 30, 40 grand in each of our studios of gear, which we couldn't afford at the time. So we were paying big dough for those off our recuperables and stuff like that.
I don't know. Have I shown this before? I was clearing out the studio the other week, and there's the invoice. Can you see?
What's
can
that
you see
for?
This is for our
It's back to
studio.
front.
Was it back to front? Okay. Basically, it comes. It's the invoice for our studio we bought when we built
In
Central Park.
yeah.
Do you know how much the total is?
What?
And this is just for like keyboards and £27,600.
Holy shit.
And that just shows you. I mean, when people complain about paying 180 quid for a plugin,
Yeah.
that's we had to take out a bank loan. We paid that off over we took out a bank loan,
Yeah.
paid it off over 5
Ours,
years.
we took 15 out, so we did for R1.
Yeah.
And most of that, half of that is the Mackie desk, and that was the Mackie 8 bus. I think we got for about 7 grand or something like that.
The Mackie 8 bus was 6,467 plus the in-out cards were 300 quid each. Then we had 2 monitors because we had to have a monitor with it, and then my Mackie speakers, which are still going, they were 914. There you go.
There you go.
There
Mental.
you go, people.
Mental.
And mental. So yeah, our year review. We're looking back. I'm trying to remember what we did because me and Phil are getting rather old. We can't remember what we did this morning. So can you remember like how the year went? Big things
What was
we did this year.
What was our first live show? Can you
First
tell
live
us?
show? I can tell you if I. First live show was in February the 6th. February the 6th. And if you go back and look at the intro, it's very like, hi, welcome along to Sonic Academy.
Yeah.
And then I think over the course of about the first 4 or 5 shows, we got the countdown in, we got some music in, and then it all became a bit more pizzazzed. And it was all going swimmingly well in February. And then we had to split up.
That's
and
right.
We
haven't done a show together. I've completely forgot we even did them together at the start.
Yeah, we did them. We did them sat side by side
That's right, yeah.
until March 17th. And then, if you go back, it's actually quite interesting to look at David Seven's guys around 10th of March last year. He was in North Italy, where it all kicked off, and talking to him about this thing called coronavirus. What's that? What is lockdown like? And Jesus, little did we know 10 months later.
2020 can literally go and.
Yeah. I'm sure anybody else, have you had a good year? Have you had a bad year? Has it been a year of actually I've had time to work on music, or it has become, too busy with other things, or maybe, illness or whatever? And so let us know in the comments if you had.
A lot of people saying it was Son Air spent 15k in his studio. I suppose mine still probably. I don't know what mine would be worth.
When did you spend that somewhere? Is that recently?
That's 10 years ago, he said.
10 years. Well, see, that 27 grand was probably on the cusp. That was 2000. That was 2000. Computers weren't fast enough.
See, I remember I got the digital virus card and parkour and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And it was such a nightmare. I remember like you couldn't do anything. I just didn't have enough synths and
so you tried to go virtual
virtual too early. Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
And we then had all these keyboards. I actually genuinely sold all that gear back to the same company about 2-3 years later for £3,000.
Yeah.
So it was look, it was just to get my new iMac. Then let me see, what did we do in March? We talked about coronavirus, and then we started having guests. So in April we had Transwax talking about his upcoming Unjun album. We had a chat with Soooo, if you remember that.
That's right, I remember. Yeah, we had Soooo on. We also had Transwax. That was good.
Transwax.
His album's released on Unjun now.
Yeah. And then in May we had the man like Sean Tyas come on, and that was a brilliant, fun show.
Yeah,
if you
Sean.
Go and watch
the
that.
highlight for me was definitely BT though.
Was it? So that was in June. We had 1 week we had UMEC, and then the next week we had BT, who just released what was his plugin?
Stutter Edit 2, yeah, which is really good. I still use it quite a bit.
Do you? You were talking about using it?
Yeah.
So BT, look, he's been a hero of ours from those studio days, and we were picking his brains about how he did some of the early. In fact, I was last night listening to Emma, if you remember that.
It's such a good album, yeah.
And was listening to Sasha's Arkham Asylum. Have you ever heard that track? Go and listen to that. And one track, I was actually in my mind going, tell everybody, go and listen to this. Go onto YouTube and type in Horse Careful Sasha remix.
Yes, that was a big track.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's a little unknown track, but it was just
Should
amazing.
we run a VT and then go into our demos? We have actually, God, I've named the VTs backwards, but well, yeah, we'll go into our VT. I think this is our new course coming up this week, which is Christian Vance, isn't it?
Yes, back.
Yeah.
Christian Vance he took a holiday to he's an Australian. He lives in Berlin.
Yeah.
Techno heaven, and he went home at the end of February to have a little holiday, and hasn't been able to get back since just because of the whole COVID thing.
Oh, no.
So he keeps eating, but his home is the Gold Coast of Australia, and he's now bombing out in 32 degrees of weather and swimming in the Pacific
And
Ocean.
they,
so
are they on
don't feel
lockdown?
too sorry for
Yeah,
him.
what's the situation in Australia with the?
I think it's quite clear in Australia. I think
Yeah.
that they are actually, they've no community cases, so
Yeah.
I think they're all doing good. So do you want to run the VT and see?
Let's do it.
In this series, we'll. Hi, I'm Christian.
Oh, wrong one. Wrong one.
Hi, I'm Christian Vance, and in this start to finish course, we're going to take a look at the world of peak time techno. I'll show you how to lay down the foundations using subs, build some hectic driving rhythms, and program some face-melting synth hooks. Arranging out your track ready to road test. To watch this and hundreds of other tutorials, simply subscribe to sonicacademy.com.
Sorry about that. I got the completely wrong VT. I told you I'd named them wrong. There's two called Progressive Chills.
So we haven't had techno in a while. I think probably the last one was UMEC earlier on this year.
Yeah.
So we invited Christian back to back because he is brilliant. He really uses the DAW as a tool. So he does rather he really gets the most out of it, programming macros. And he doesn't.
Did he do the sort of algorithmic sort of techno one where sort of? What one did he do?
He did the one where it was just literally one loop.
And yeah.
He just chopped up one loop and used the one loop for the whole techno track and sort of processed it and stuff. So yeah, he is really good at programming those macros and those sounds, and it's quite in depth. So yeah, brilliant course to end the year.
So we haven't checked out if the CPU is going to work. Let's switch. There we go. Kind of works. Kind of works.
So some people not had a great year. Look, a lot of people are in the same boat. And some people have had time to learn Cubase enablement, so not a bad year for me personally, but it's been a bad year overall for obvious reasons. It has, and loads of DJs and stuff not being able to get out and stuff. So look, hopefully we're coming to the end. We keep saying this every week.
Okay, so let's get going with some demos. This one is from REV, Lati Business City. Synthwave. Reminds me of playing Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, so far so good. I quite like it.
Yeah. Mix is a bit muddy, is it?
I don't think it's too bad. I think I'm on headphones, so. Look at the spectrum. Yeah, it could be a bit more, maybe in this range.
Great bass line. What do you make of the chords?
I like them. I think they're quite dark and weird. I think there's some maybe clashing happening here. What's this? What's this? A sweep? Don't know what's happened there. It's kind of gone way off now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the chords and the bass are. I don't know whether that's intentional to make it like really weird and creepy, but I don't think it really works for me. Yeah, it was really good up in that first half, and then when it went into those other chords, it just sort of lost it for me. It was like just lots of clashing and stuff going on.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
So, it sounds quite pro at the start, so, and then kind of loses its way.
Do you think that's samples then? Someone's just using loops?
That's literally what I'm asking. Somebody just throwing loops in and then not really knowing
what to do.
I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. Could be wrong.
Very Miami Vice.
Well, it's
I mean, the guitar idea is right, but I think it needs. I don't think just doing a big guitar solo over the top is a good idea. And if you are doing that, it would need to be super tight, which that is not quite nailed on there. I think you would want to maybe just create a melody with the guitar, so something that's like repetitive and keeps the vibe. You don't want it just meandering.
I haven't heard a meandering guitar solo like that since probably about 1987.
Yeah,
so it's just not a thing.
Yeah, I think
it does meander, and I think today, the actual idea of it coming in with the guitar is kind of Miami Vice and cool. It all became messy there as well.
Yeah,
but there's brilliant parts in there, and it just kind of it's like a big mud pie. You kind of have to go in and seek out
just this sort of section starting around here. It seemed to like lose it. There's no real need to change the chords at that point, unless you're sort of transitioning into like a total refrain or something and coming back, in which case,
as we said at the top of the show, less is more.
Less is more, yes.
Less is more.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Look at this wee waveform. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, little waveform.
You're a small child.
Hello, tiny waveform.
So the first thing you need to do there is just go to your master fader and just turn it up.
Get another 4.1 dB and then put a limiter on.
You'd be grand.
Give this some welly on the.
Let's whisper. Let's whisper over the top of this.
This is Rodrigo Rayner, by the way. Cyber Tree. It's a cyber tree, Chris.
It's a tree that lives in space.
It's a tree from Cyberpunk 2077. Why is everyone talking about that game? It's so good.
You're obsessed.
It's great. I love it.
You need to come in and whack us over the head here. This is just it's too timid.
Oh, big wow. Yeah, that's us.
Still sounds very low here in my headphones.
More recently, clicky kicks are becoming annoying to me.
Yeah, they're becoming out of fashion, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, so 2015.
I think the frequency on your kick clicks needs to come down to about 10k to start, and then a bit further down, I've noticed. What do you the reverb is very like small roomy rather than
Big, expansive.
So I would, you know, on the arp there. I really love these sounds, by the way. The hi-hatties and the hi-hatty stuff. That
Again, there's something in there.
I think that needs to be drier or in a different type of room.
Everyone hates the clickety kicks.
Clickety kicks.
Clickety kicks. Nice drum roll.
It is nice.
Wow, what's gonna happen?
No reason for that to change there, is there? There's something about continuity that when you change the melody of a song at that point, I find disconcerting somewhat.
There was kind of this big drum roll that expected something bigger to happen, and it kind of just didn't really.
Yeah. Just want to go back to.
This bit's great.
So it is the same sound, yeah. I do like the new bit that's added, but I just wonder then why was this bit different? You know, why not just keep that bit going on from the start? Nice, building tension.
I like it. I like it. I'd like to hear some more incidentals. Atmospheres, something, just
a few things there, yeah. Like an atmospheric drone pad, or like a high drone pad that's just sort of sitting in and maybe coming up over the top of that. About that fill?
No.
Sounds like out of a rap tune or something. You know, like doesn't fit with the genre. I mean, the snares that they had back there.
Yeah, I was waiting for those.
You know, you
those
could do something like that.
They were definitely built something.
Yeah, I don't think you. Can you hear me?
No, the listen to seems to have stopped.
Listen to has stopped, yeah.
I don't know. Here, click. They're back again.
Yeah, no, just saying about. I don't think it has been a big enough build here.
Yeah.
For it to drop down into not the half, not the full thing.
Yeah, that you want to drop into that.
Yeah.
Again, like the last track, there are brilliant elements in there. They're just, you need to sort of kind of go in and dig and go, okay, let's pull the best out of this.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do.
Do you know? Again, if you listen to this, okay. So you've got this sound at the end, which is the sort of main riff, and then you've got this bit, and then you've got this bit, which are three different motifs
in the one sound.
With the one sound, and I don't know. You'd need to tell me this. Is that not a weird thing to do? You know,
That is weird.
um, when I'm making a track, I'm trying as much as possible to sort of like have a cohesive sort of
Motif.
motif that you're sort of, you know. And I know there's sort of they're linked. It's like he's building the motif up, I suppose. But you kind of
It feels like the three motifs aren't related.
yeah, they're not
Except
related, and they haven't at least been teased, or if you could. I think it is dance music now getting a bit more sort of, I don't know, like verse chorusy.
Well,
You sort of need that. I don't know. I don't know if
I don't know.
I know
I,
maybe verse chorusy is not the right way, but yeah,
I know what you
I
mean.
just
You're
think it's
you're kind
weird
of.
that motif is
It just feels random. It
yeah.
doesn't feel cohesive. Uh, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And
It's not even really been used in that build. It's not like that was introduced if that was introduced maybe at the breakdown, you could maybe get away with it a bit easier.
yeah,
Um,
and you're trying to also ram home the theme. Here's the hook. Here's the hook.
yeah,
Here's the hook, and serve it up. You don't say here's the hook, but here's another version of that hook, and here's a third version of that hook that's slightly
exactly.
different
Yeah,
game, and nothing becomes memorable.
yeah,
That's kind of
and I think as well that last motif is because we have only just heard it, and because it's got more notes. It
Mhm.
feels like I'm not hooked into it at all. It's just like sounds like random notes. It doesn't sound like a
I wouldn't pick that as a hook.
no.
That's to me a rhythmical part.
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
So yeah, lots of stuff. Cyber tree to go to your tree and prune it.
Prune your cyber tree.
Prune your cyber
What would you
tree.
do? How would you actually manage that in a sort of in a melodic way? What would you be doing for a riff there
I
instead?
I'd be going back to the three elements and going, I'd be A-Being them and going, right, which one is the stronger here? Which one's the feels the more hooky? And then
Hmm.
enhancing that. And it's all, again, I think sound palette wise, it's all kind of the same plucky kind of noises. I think we need something different sound palette wise, whether it be a high arp, floating in and out, or a high,
Hmm.
a sort of more held note melody or something.
Hmm.
I don't know. You would, of the three elements, it would be, I can't remember any of them. Having listened to the track,
Hmm.
nothing sticks in my head. So I'm kind of going, right. So I need to go back and listen to it several times and go, that's the stronger one, and how do we enhance that?
Yeah.
Your build up, you had brilliant drums at the start, then they don't come in again, and you need to kind of just repeat these things once or twice.
Hmm.
And I understand, I kind of feel that most books I bang on about have more than one idea and a couple of ideas, not
Hmm.
sort of have this. And he has had several ideas, but they need to be distilled down.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
what would you do, Phil, if it was on your board? What would you do?
What would I do? So
Turn it up by 6 dB first of all.
so I think it's fine to have, like the bit before the break and the bit after the break being different.
Mhm.
And I think the bit after the break is where you want your main motif. I don't think that is a strong enough top line or whatever.
Mhm.
I think
It's the hardest thing in the world to write.
it is
The hook.
that is the crux, you know what I mean? If you get that right, you've nailed it. For me, the sound wasn't interesting enough to carry that melody, and
Mhm.
the melody wasn't there was too many notes going on, so you're not actually getting hooked into a tune, if you know what I
Mhm.
mean. So if you wanted to keep that sort of driving element where you've got sort of fast notes, that could be brought back in the mix and more plucky or something sort of part of, as you said, the rhythmical section, and then maybe something on top, like something, just an original sort of use effects to mess with a saw sound or a string sound to create something unusual that's like like a nice stabby sort of thing that's like down 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 down, that's doing something
Yeah.
something interesting and different.
We talk about this before about the stage, setting the stage and having your players. All those little RP, like the bass and the main riff are sort of the same note length, and they've got delays, so they kind of all meld into one.
Yeah.
And they're your kind of
Especially
your
in that build-up bit.
chorus behind this. Yeah.
Sorry, in that build-up bit,
And
they had the ARP, and then you had that new motif that was coming up as well. So they were sort of fighting with each other in the same register with a similar sound, you know. So you want to sort of trump, you know, I would get chords in there, some nice chords in that.
Or you
in that breakdown.
You bring on your main actor and go, right, you look different. You're center stage now. Please take the the show is yours. Take it away, and that's kind of how you view it, I think.
Yep. Yep.
If anybody understood all that, rumblings.
Yep.
I hope so.
Okay, let's go for. Is this our last one? No, this is the next one. Another clicky kick. Look at the click. Look at the click on that kick.
That was quite the click.
That was a lot of clicking.
So all kicks on this sort of music, all kicks have become a lot softer, and sort of attacks have slowed down a bit. So.
Oh, nice sound.
Nice snare.
That saw sound to me, I would have it a bit more filtered and just shit tons of reverb, just like so. It's a drone atmosphere rather than like a sound that's happening. It's more of an emotional sort of feeling thing, an effect, drony effect. Like everything dropped away there from that, and the bass line kicked in.
Big bass, the big bass came and dominates.
I can barely hear the hats and stuff. Sounds like there's like loads of bus compression or something on there that's just like messing with stuff. Yeah.
And it's too rigid. I think you need maybe some sort of note in there every second bar or something, just to. It's just too strict.
You know, something to give a bit more. Oh, I like that change.
Nice.
I don't know whether it's because I'm just wearing headphones.
Yeah.
But there's something weird with those hats. It's like they're too far out here. It's like all the mid information's been taken away.
The pan kind of hard right on.
Yeah.
It's nice chords.
Yeah, the musicality of it's really good. I really like it. Yeah, you can hear that bus compression's just a bit extreme there.
We've talked about letting go of the side chaining in these parts and these breakdowns.
Yeah. I think it's a creative choice that, but
okay, all cool. Milking the break a bit, is it?
that kick didn't work. You would need a big reverb on that kick, yeah.
Sub drop.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good track. I think just some elements to me feel slightly unusual. Those hats, the way they're sort of positioned in the stereo field is a bit weird. It's as if there's a widener on them that's just been up to max. I think you know, you kind of want your snare mostly down the center, and you know, your hats you sort of want a wee bit off if you're trying to create a bit of width, but those sound like they're just like weirdly over to this side. And they're probably too filtered high. Remember we were talking about earlier, you know, about low cutting.
Yeah.
Everything sounds a bit low cut, not a bit too much.
The other thing I would have loved to have, what I would have tried to achieve there is that, see that build up and that you know, that sort of, that's really driving, right? And his nice RP baseline at the start.
Yeah.
I would have tried on the build up is to go really aggressive on that, you know, build up, and then so it's going but the baseline underneath is really
Yeah.
So there's this real juxtaposition between the nice sort of floaty start, and then once it drops, you've got something quite memorable, and you're going, it really drives using that sort of sawtoothy arp lead.
Yeah.
And then something really more staccato, slightly more saturated and distorted and driving underneath. I would have loved to have heard.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's close there. I think again, do a lot of referencing on that because I think the musicality is all there. I think it's really about just listening to tracks and getting the vibe of like where the bass is. You know, I think the bass was maybe a bit loud for me. And the kick could be more modern. It's, you know, it sounds a few years ago. I think the kicks have changed slightly recently, haven't they?
Yeah, they're very much softer. 2021 is the year of the declicking of the kick.
I think you just get your and yeah, I think it's a good track. I think there's loads of potential there. I'm just going to run a quick VT and then we'll be back in 1 minute.
In this series, we'll take a look at how to make a track like the one you're about to hear, which is a remix of a song from my new album. In the beginning, we'll start with some piano and string ensembles, writing the chord progression that forms the basis for the track. We'll then look at different types of bass, as well as drums and percussion, before moving on to a couple of sections on the various synth parts. We'll explore all kinds of effects, and then we'll have an arrangement stage and also take a look at the various automation clips. We'll then mix the track down in preparation for a section on the vocals. In the vocal section, we'll cover things like lead vocals, harmonies, vocal chops, and various vocal effects. Finally, we'll conclude the video with a section on some final tweaks, where we'll add all of the fine-tuning that the track needs. I hope you enjoy this series and thanks for watching.
You've been running in circles through my mind. I ask myself what's to find. Yet somehow I seem to find you in everything, everywhere, down to the seasons, between the lines. But there must be a reason why our lives intertwine. But I just keep on waiting for the moment when the rain starts falling.
That's what are you doing, Chris?
My lights are falling.
All right, we'll do one more demo before we go, will we?
Yeah. You're going to answer some questions?
Yeah, we'll do this last demo and then we'll answer some questions. We've got Kieran's theme. As Fixer's asking, if my track is not taken for a show, is it out then? Is there a chance it will? I'm not sure. I will check to see if there's another track, but we didn't get any new ones this week. Basically, every week we just clear the pile. So if you want to keep resubmitting, you can do that.
And if it doesn't come in after 2 weeks, so straight ahead transfer.
Yeah. Kick sounds good. Hats sound good. All sounds very believable, doesn't it, so far?
Sounds treads.
Like the mid bass, it's got a real nice twangy pluck to it.
Yeah, nice rubbery, filtery noise to it.
Nice beat. Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All very solid. Big solid off bass.
You love a solid off bass, don't you, Chris? That was your
I love a
staple,
solid
wasn't it?
It was always hard to do an off bass but not get it to sound bouncy, to get it to sound cool.
Sorry, I've got this really loud.
Alright.
Maybe why everyone's loving it. Maybe I would like to have heard more of a melody
By this stage.
by this stage. Love those wee vocal effects and stuff.
I'm not sure about this sort of punky sound.
No, I'm just thinking the same thing. Is it? I mean, surely if that was like a more solid sound down a bit, it would have more impact.
Yeah.
Doesn't speak to me.
But there's potential.
The,
for a really
the
good
melody is really spot on, but it's just a bit top end, top rangey. Nice chords. Need to get a different reverb on that. That reverb.
I was going to, yeah,
It's like a jazz club. It needs to be more like a space station, or you know what I mean. It needs to be like
epic.
more epic.
Yeah.
Get
Epicer.
Valhalla Shimmer or something on there just to take it really out wide.
You can follow me down to the ocean. I will show you the place I belong. Alone here, the darkness surrounds us. In the water, reflections of
Do you know, see the sort of wee... Oh, that just play out. We'll go back. Not a fan of that snare. Too distorted or saturated or something. You're not getting a attack of it. It's all perfect there. It's all sitting nicely. Big saw.
That's all,
Yeah, it's all bang on. Absolutely spot on. My only concern is sort of this section here. Pianos.
Oh, Joe feeling. I struggled with diction there. I couldn't hear what she was
Yeah,
singing.
so I was going to say that the way the piano goes ding, 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 like the wee complementary notes in there, I would get rid of those just while the vocal's going on. So you just got the piano chords, so you can sort of hear the vocal a bit better. Also, I would my trance piano setup is Native Instruments Grandeur with shimmer on it.
Okay.
And that just gives you that, big, super wide piano thing.
And if you didn't have Contact, which is pricey and Grandeur, is there any other sort of piano-y? If you're Logic, the
Logic
stock
piano is
Logic
supposed to
pianos?
be okay. Yeah, that
it's
sounds
fine.
maybe like Arturia piano, something like that. The Arturia piano's got either the Arturia one or the Waves one both had like a kind of middly gritty thing. You could probably just filter, just make it a bit warmer sounding. It needs to.
John's on the chat. If
Yeah.
you tell us what piano is, be great.
It's not that bad really. It's not that bad a piano. It's maybe just the way the reverb sort of making it feel, and I would just
Yeah.
maybe ditch the sort of ding 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 bit in it. But yeah, other than that,
Yeah.
I think it's a banger. I think you have a banger.
I'm being told in the chat here, Grandire's only 89. Does that work on what do you call it? The free player, the free contact player?
Well, once you buy Grandeur, you get it. You get it, yeah. So
There you go.
works
There
on
you go.
contact free, yeah.
John, great, really, really solid. I mean, you've got a wall of sound. You've got that. You've nailed that trance sound.
Yeah.
Only problem is I struggled with diction with her. I don't know whether that's a mixed thing or maybe it's a sample. And also the vocal just appears in that section and then doesn't. I don't think it appears again. But
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely you could, I'm sure there's elements of that.
vocal you could chop.
See that bit?
Yeah. Exactly.
You could just have that reverb, or big reverb, just alone. Just maybe some of the other breaks are just introduced earlier and some other wee elements.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But yeah, all very good. Really, really thank you for sending it in, John Phelan. Keep the demos coming in over the holiday period. We will be returning sometime in January.
Yep.
We love going through them and checking them out. And I'm going to fire you some quick fire questions
Okay.
at the end of the show.
No. Okay, go.
So ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do flies go at night?
Where do flies go at night? I would say they get eaten by spiders.
There you go. How do you create space in your track?
How do you create space in your track?
It all depends what they mean by space.
Yeah.
Is it reverby
Well,
space?
yeah,
Or
I
is
mean, you can. How do you make things wider? So there's different widening plugins. Wider. I use SPL Vitalizer. I use the utility control in Ableton, and I use Isotope Imager.
Do you worry about phasing and all those sort of things? Do you keep checking mono and folding it down?
Well, not a huge amount. I sort of I avoid using like the Haas stereo thing.
Okay.
But like let's go through my wideners briefly. Let me just turn this off.
I'm also been told to, if you're thinking of last minute Christmas gift ideas, we do have gift certificates available where you can gift somebody a year subscription and they can start it at any time. So that's available on the site. And you get a PDF download, so they've got something to open. If that's something you're struggling for, I'm going to gift my wife a year subscription to the Academy.
So here's what I use. I've got wider.
Yeah.
Wider and Ozone Imager.
Yeah.
And then
There was a wave.
SPL Vitalizer. And then just the utility.
What would happen
the
if
utility
you put-
plugin? Now the utility plugin, I am pretty sure does the exact same job as Wider does.
Okay.
So-
but not a nice interface. Okay.
Was that not working? What happened there? Why is it not working?
I have no idea.
I don't know about that. That's weird.
Broken it. Let's move on.
Anyway, that's the ones you use. Why I don't know why that utility's not working. I get
That's
so
working?
this is the point is that so
Bass mono switch on, is it?
different different stereo width wideners work on different materials, so you kind of have to try different ones.
Different ones.
Yeah. So that's why I have a few, because they all sort of work in different ways, and sometimes they'll make things really wide, and sometimes they won't make things wide at all. Just Depends.
And what would happen to the universe if you had all 4 wideners on one side?
It expands so far into the 11th dimension that the whole quantum wave function collapses, and we all get sucked into a white hole singularity.
Should you cut all frequencies of every track in the world below 200, except for bass? You say yes.
Only
I say
if it's
no.
annoying me. Only if I'm hearing something that's annoying. But a lot of the time, I would use some sort of a high pass filter or an EQ, low. I've used my use the old what's it called? The old EQ8. Bit of EQ.
Okay,
So I have my EQ8 set up with a high pass filter on it.
Just as my
As a preset.
channel EQ in Logic is default, just comes up with a 50 hertz. Now, do you worry about introducing phasing issues?
Well, if you keep the resonance down as much as possible, that'll help reduce phase, and it'll also help to not make it an obvious cut. And really, you don't really notice it.
And a last easy question: what is the best plugin to make house techno trance?
Anatu.
Simple. There you go. That's it. Of course, Anatu genuinely is very good for techno, house, and trance. It's also brilliant for synthwave. It's also good for dubstep and bass house. And
All the good electronic genres.
all
All the good ones.
It is absolutely rubbish at doing trumpets, though.
Yeah.
If you want to do jazz trumpets, don't buy Anatu.
Don't get it for jazz trumpets. Although you
Don't
might
get it
be able
for
to get it for jazz trumpets soon.
Our new jazz trumpet sample pack will be out next week. So,
All right,
guys,
is that
thank
it?
you so much for. I just want to say, congratulations to Deadly Custard, who has a new release out on Dom Kane's label
That's right.
last Friday.
Yeah.
So, if
Go
you
and buy
wanna
that or stream it or
yes,
all the
go and
things.
go and support. Kick 2, it is definitely good for house techno and trance. Again, shit for jazz trumpets. So there you go.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for joining us again for this short stint. We will be back in the new year with hopefully less is more, bigger, better, with some guests. So look, thank you to everyone who joined us. John Phelan, thank you for sending
We're
in the
still
chat.
about on forums, on Facebook, all that stuff. If you want to ask us questions or drop us an email or whatever, we're always happy to have a chat.
Have a chat, and we hope you all have a pleasant and safe holidays, whatever you're doing out there. Hope you make some music and get pleasure from doing that, and hope you discover some new vibes over the holiday period.
And the potential ginormous lockdown. So,
ginormous lockdown. So
see you on
hopefully,
the flip side, and have a
see you
have a happy Christmas.